Yeah, let's move on here. Enough about a game with a two-touchdown spread, essentially, here. The Washington Commanders come off a very late bye to go on the road to take on the Los Angeles Rams. This spread has not moved all week. It's been 6.5 for the most part. I think maybe one book or two touched 7 and quickly came back. So we've basically locked in here for the most part at 6.5 for the Rams as home favorites. Total in this one, 50.5. Adam, the Rams look good. We've talked in recent weeks about whether we want to buy on this team now that Kyron Williams is back. LA is top 3 by EPA and top 5 by success rate since Kyron Williams returned to the backfield. If you take away garbage time to filter out one of those games against Arizona, they're still top 5 overall by EPA, top 7 in the rush game, top 6 by dropback EPA. And we know that Washington's defense is horrendously bad. They are just at the bottom of the league, basically across the board. And now Sam Howell in this offense can't really be relied on to move the ball very well either. Their offense is outside the top 20 in the past 6 weeks here. So again, I'll tease that Mo Nawara is backing the Rams here at -6.5. You can listen to his reasons why over on Beat the Closing Number, but I'm curious if you're buying the Rams here as well.
I would if I were to get involved with a side. The Rams would definitely be it for me. Washington is one of those high variance teams that you just don't know what you're going to get week to week. Yeah. Now, here's what you do know. And this is one of those that's just a little bit deeper inside the statistics. If we go look at rushing props, we see Kyron Williams at 93.5 rushing yards. Okay, that makes sense for how good he's been since coming back from injury. But here's a little peek inside what we've seen from the Washington Commanders over the second half of the season. They are dead last in EPA per play on defense outside of garbage time. They are by far dead last in dropback EPA in garbage time. Want to take a guess at where they are in rushing EPA allowed?
Yeah, not
great. Just take a shot.
I don't know, middle of the pack.
They are number 2. They are the second best defense against the run in the second half of this season. Only the New England Patriots have been better than them against the run. In terms of success rate, they are also second against the run. So I would focus everything I have on in this game on playing both unders in the rush game for the Rams and overs in the passing game for the Rams. Pick your favorite. Do whatever you want, whether it's Stafford, Kupp, Nakua, whatever you like. But for me, it's probably actually under on that Kyron Williams rushing number because 93.5 that's a Derrick Henry kind of number from Kyron Williams. And let's think about game state here, right? If the Rams are going to be throwing the ball a fair amount, and it looks like based on the numbers against Washington, that's the right way to do things, you might get Kyron Williams running the ball a fair amount early in the game, and maybe he pops something and you lose that yardage number, right? But if this game really does trend in the direction that we think it might, which is the Rams having a lead at margin, it's not going to be as much Kyron Williams out there. I'm sure Sean McVay is probably going to pull him a bit and pull the reins back and not have to have him out there exposed as much. So that's the way that I would be most interested in this. Let me double check the attempts number on. Do you have the attempts number right in front? There it is. 20.5 for Kyron Williams. I actually feel pretty good about under in that spot as well.
I want to ask you about one other futures market here. It's been pretty much understood that CJ Stroud's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's at like -10,000 at some spots. Our show sponsor, BetMGM, he's at -3,000 now. And there's at least been a little bit of interest in Puka Nakua, down to 18-1 at BetMGM. Other spots, you can still get him 30-1. Is it still 100% going to be CJ Stroud if he misses this game, if he's down weapons, if they go on a losing streak and don't make the playoffs here? And then I concede that it probably requires Puka Nakua breaking the rookie receiving record held by Jamar Chase. But what if those two things happen? Is it still CJ Stroud, Adam?
Yes, it's still CJ Stroud. And the most important thing you need to remember is just two simple letters, QB. The quarterback is always going to get an outsized amount of consideration for these awards. And what CJ Stroud has done in becoming, I think, a pretty well consensus top 12 to 13 quarterback in the league this year isn't going to be undone by missing a couple games in concussion protocol. I mean, I think we can probably look at this CJ Stroud situation and say he's going to at least get back on the field at some point this year, in large part because the Houston Texans still have a playoff berth to play for. So ultimately, I can't see Puka Nacua going off enough to be able to overtake CJ Stroud.
I agree with you. Just wanted to ask the question, with Stroud missing this week and me just trying to hold out some vestige of hope after I bet Puka Nacua after week 1 last year. So after week 1 this year. So what are you going to do?